Hello everyone, my name is Kayla Fastaben and today I will talk to you about women in Islam. Before I start my presentation, I want to point out that there are strong opinions about women in Islam. Some of the topics that I'm going to talk today are controversial. Some believe that Islam empowers women, while others believe that Islam violates women's rights. I conducted my research based on the teachings and views that I found from the Quran. I want to point out that different regions interpreted Sharia law differently. The differences in the interpretation is what causes Islam to be observed differently in other countries. Islam was revealed at a time when a lot of people denied the humanity of the woman. At this point, some were skeptical about it. Some agreed, yet considered women to be at the service of man. Nevertheless, the Quran not just considers the woman as a worthy human being, but equal. Islam views men and women as equal before God, and the Quran underlines that men and women were created of a single soul. Gender roles in Islam are defined by two Quranic precepts: spiritual equality between women and women are meant to exemplify femininity, while men masculinity. The Quran teaches that, like everything else in the universe, humanity has been created in a pair. Neither can be complete without the other. Men are protectors and caretakers of the family, and in exchange, women should be obedient wives and serve their husbands and stay within the family's environment. It is important to clarify that these roles may vary depending on the conservative or liberal nature of the country. For example, Muslims in South Asia and Southeast Asia overwhelmingly hold this view, but in Southern and Eastern European countries, fewer than half of Muslims believe a wife must always obey her spouse. The women's role is very important in the Islamic culture. From a very young age, little girls traditionally grow up in the mother's quarters or in the women's quarters of the house called harem, where they get familiarized with domestic activities and are taught Islamic laws and values. In the harem, just women are allowed, and the head of the house, that will be the father, will be also allowed, but in general will be the other men will be excluded from that area. Islam's modesty rules are open to a wide range of interpretations. Some Muslim women wear fully body garments and only expose their eyes. Some cover every part of the body except their face and hands. Some believe only their hair or the cleavage is where it needs to be covered, and others do not observe any special dress rules. The Prophet Muhammad advocated the rights of women and men equally to seek knowledge. The woman's rights to seek education or learning is basic and is also guaranteed by the Islamic teachings. The Prophet Muhammad said, seeking knowledge is incumbent on every Muslim. In many Muslim countries, girls and women have restricted access to education, and often Islamic nations have the world's highest gender gap in education. Although seeking knowledge is mandatory on every Muslim, it's not the case for many Muslim women that have no access to education or don't have the same opportunities that men have. According to the Sharia law, It is permissible for a Muslim woman to go out to work if the job meets certain criteria. First of all, the job is deemed permissible in Sharia law and shall not include anything that contradicts legal rulings. Second of all, the woman guarantees safety for her person, chastity, and religion from temptation. And third of all, the job suits a woman's physical and psychological nature. Traditional interpretations of Islam require a woman to have her husband's permission to leave the house and take up employment, though scholars have said that women do not require a husband's permission to leave the house and work. But in countries where it is required, if the wife doesn't have the husband's permission, she will be blameworthy. Similar with education and gender roles, women's employment vary throughout the Muslim countries. For example, in 2005, 16% of the Pakistani women worked, while in Indonesia, 52% of women worked. And this is my site of works. I would like to point out this site, Quran.com. If you would like to read the Quran or check some of the verses that teaches some of the Islam teachings, this is a good place to read more about that. I hope that you learn something new about women in Islam, and thank you for watching.